Will I recognize my loved ones in heaven? This recently asked question is one every heart wants an answer to because saying goodbye to a loved one at death brings such a sense of loss. Friends, welcome to Bible Words. I'm Pastor Dave, your host. Thanks for tuning in as we consider this heartfelt question regarding our personal relationships and our eternal future. You know, the deaths of our loved ones seem so final and saying goodbye to them so painful that makes our Christian faith in a future in heaven so hopeful. It changes our goodbyes to see you later. But as this question asks, is that really true? Will we really see them later? Yes, we do believe in a future resurrection of the saints and all of us being together in God's glorious presence, along with the saints of all the ages of human history. But what if things are so radically different in heaven that I don't recognize any of my loved ones? Won't I feel terrible? Now, that's an honest concern that most of us have had, at least pondered, because we know that our immortal lives in God's presence is going to be vastly different than our mortal lives now. It will be different, but better different in all aspects of our mortality. So what does God's Bible word say about this concern? Let's consider our transition from mortality to immortality. Apostle Paul has already addressed this question of difference and answered in part in 1 Corinthians 15, where he writes, "But someone will say, how are the dead raised? And what kind of body do they come?" That's this week's question, of course. In explaining, Paul says there are heavenly bodies and earthly bodies, but the glory of the heavenly is one, and the glory of the earthly is another. So he's saying, yes, there are differences coming in the vital nature of our future bodies, but all those changes are going to make us better, he says. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown a perishable body, it's raised an imperishable body. It's sown a natural body, it's raised a spiritual body. Just as we have borne the image of the earthly, we'll also bear the image of the heavenly. Let's consider the implication Paul points out here. Currently, we have a perishable body that ages and wears out. So with age, our skin sags, our hair whitens or falls out, our beauty, strength fade away, our steps stagger in weakness as we die one day at a time, so to speak, until our bodies die. Our question is, will we recognize our loved ones? Assumes that our comfort now and then is going to be found in seeing them as they were. Will I recognize my loved one based on the appearance that they had the last time I saw them instead of the person I knew? So I have to stop and ask a different question. Is that what's going to bring us personal comfort, seeing and recognizing my dad or granny or whoever with that facial appearance they had at death? Further, is that what we want for our future appearance in heaven as well? The face that we had when we were 88 years old and not 28 years old. Most interesting consideration, don't you think? And what about premature losses of loved ones that we have suffered? Would we want a child that's lost at 10 years of age to be forever a child in heaven? Because understand, the body we're going to have in heaven is imperishable. That means we won't age or change. We will forever be the same as God is right now. And while I can certainly understand as we grieve through the loss of a loved one, why the thought of being able to recognize them in heaven might give us a sense of hope and comfort, I think when we think about the implications of that hope, I don't think we'd want to trap anyone in the perishable body of their mortality that they had at the end of their life, whatever age that was. Neither, I think, our present comfort needs to be based on such. During seasons of loss, we need to focus on the hope of our future imperishable bodies that God gives us in His Bible words. And here's God's final word regarding our concerns. "And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is among men, and He will dwell among them, and they shall be His people, and God Himself will be among them. And He'll wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will no longer be any mourning or crying or pain. The first things have passed away." And He who sits on the throne said, "Behold, I am making all things new." Not new, different, and worse, but new, different, and best. So let's trust God our Father to keep His promise as He overcomes our physical death with our future resurrection. Friends, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share Bible words with your friends, and let me know if you have any further questions about our future lives in heaven. I'd love to expand our discussion of this topic with you. See you next week.